Hi everyone, my name is Jacqueline Bell and welcome to the Divorcee Diaries YouTube channel. Today I want to talk to all of you about what it's like to go through your first holiday as a divorcee, as someone who's been recently divorced. And as a young person that's been divorced, I think there are lots of different challenges that we have navigating that new transition to being by yourself and identifying how to go back to being single, to riding solo. So I'll talk a little bit about some of the holidays that come around this time of year and how I overcame them. So what I learned during Thanksgiving is that you really cannot do it like you used to. So I say this because I'm someone that loves to cook and I love to bake and I love to host. Now this year, because I'm someone, or that year, last year, because I was someone that lived with myself, an apartment, I didn't have the opportunity to host this year, but I love cooking and I love baking, so I made sure that I created lots of good things for my family and I. And since my family, they do their holidays separate, I had to cook a lot, which was not a great idea because I ended up cooking just as much as I used to when I was married. You know, and back then I would go to 3, maybe 4 parties when you count the in-laws and like my own family. As some of you have known, if you read my blog, I have divorced parents, so it's kind of like divorced families, yes? So you have your mom's side and you have your dad's side, and we usually do it separate. So I usually make maybe 3 to 4 dishes per family party or family gathering. And I did the same thing that year as well, my first solo holiday, which I do not recommend. So what I've learned from that is that you can't do it like you used to. And so I scaled back. So for that following Christmas, I made sure to scale back. But during the actual Thanksgiving season, I spent a lot, that holiday, gosh, I think I spent so much time cooking. I think maybe I got 3 hours of sleep. I was just cooking all day. I completely overused my garbage disposal. I couldn't cook anymore. I had to transport all of those baked and cooked items into my car from the 4th floor down to like the ground floor. And that was quite something because the elevator at the time, it was further away from my car, so it was a whole bunch of going back and forth up the stairs and down the stairs to try to transport all this food. I ended up only transporting the enough for the first party because I was so tired that I couldn't move it anywhere else, and then had to transport all of my food, or all of once I had to go to my next party, I ended up going back to my apartment to pick up food, and I ended up falling asleep on my couch. So that just goes to show you cannot do it the same way you used to do it while you were married, because there's not an extra hand to help you, and my preparation was not on point. I definitely if I wanted to do all of that, I definitely could have called my family or called someone else to help me out, but I did not in that case. So if you're planning on doing the same thing you've always done, I hope you think twice. The second holiday I want to talk about is Christmas. Now we'll move on to Christmas. Here are my Christmas festive glasses I like to wear. They used to light up, but now they don't. But I also had them for many years. So for Christmas, I like to preface by saying I love Christmas. It is my favorite holiday of the year besides my birthday. And as you can see, I have my tree that I love so much. And it's a real tree. It's a real tree. I actually made this, a ritual that you do every year, because my first year when I was a divorcee and celebrating Christmas, my family actually my siblings invited me to go and get fresh trees for their home this time around. And I was like, well, I've never had a fresh tree. I don't know how I feel about it. I've always had artificial trees, but I tried it out. Now I love it. I do love it. I love the smell that it exudes. I love how it looks. And it also helps because I don't have storage, or that much storage, so I don't have anywhere to put like an artificial tree. So this is my fantastic tree that I love to have. So it's one of the things that I did that was new for me, that helped me because I love Christmas so much. to get a tree that could recycle afterwards was really helpful, and to get a tree with family was very helpful as well. Before the actual holiday, I knew that it was going to be a holiday that was going to be hard, it's going to be difficult. So I just made sure that I surrounded myself with lots of family. Well, of course, family, right? It's Christmas. But just remind myself of all the joyous things that I enjoy doing with my family. Of course, there's going to be times when you get really lonely, especially when you see all your siblings or your cousins or your family members with someone. And in many cases, that's how it is for most of them, unless you're like a little kid, right? They usually come with a partner, and that can be really hard. But just reminding myself, taking those moments to breathe, really does help. And also making sure that I utilize my energy well. So I made sure to reach out to some of the family members I haven't seen in a while, ask about them, ask about how they're doing, to really help keep my mind off of the day. Also, because I also said I love cooking and baking, I scaled back on my cooking and baking, so I was able to not exhaust myself and really enjoy my time. And I also enjoy gift giving, so I made sure I gave everyone a gift, just because my whole family helped me so much. And I talk about this in my blog as well, and I'll probably mention another video down the line. But my family was instrumental in getting me out of my house, getting my house sold, and getting me into my new apartment and starting my new life. So that's something that I definitely I had no more words to express how thankful I was without like bawling. So getting everyone gifts is something that was really important to me, and I focused on that. And I made sure I tired myself out by the end of the night, and that way I knew I could go to sleep more at peace. Because like I said, when you're married, you have even more family that you have to see, and time that you have to share when you have an even larger family. So I really enjoyed looking at the bright side, seeing that, I can enjoy as much time with my family as possible on this particular holiday. And that really meant a lot to me. So focusing on, the time at hand with the people that you love, not having to share it with anyone, so that's great. And also being able to focus your mind and get yourself preoccupied enough so that when you go home, you can have a really nice sleep and not worry about how life used to be. And it really is great. It definitely was great for me. You can certainly miss, the family that you had in the past, but that's, it doesn't diminish what was there. You can certainly appreciate the past and what had, but really embrace the present and being able to enjoy most of the time with your family, with as much time as you want, and in the way that you want to, without having to accommodate anyone. So that's another thing. So that was a plus. But when the loneliness creeps up, take the time that you need to, take a moment to take a breath. Breathing helps quite a bit, and then preoccupy your mind with some other things to kind of help get you back into that jolly mood. And on to the new year. I hope all of you are going to enjoy the new year. I know this is a particular COVID season, so it's not the best options around, but last year when I celebrated my first year as a divorcee, as someone running solo for the New Year's holiday, it's kind of like the last of the holidays that really are significant for the holiday season. And I was actually, pretty somewhat nervous, but also just kind of wondering about what I would be doing for the New Year's. How would I bring in the New Year's in an impactful way, one that kind of set a marker this time in my life? Because I knew I was in the up and up, and I was loving to solo travel. So knowing that I probably would be by myself on New Year's Eve, I just said, hey, I'm actually gonna go and solo travel for the New Year. So what I was afraid of was being by myself for the New Year's, but instead what I did was embrace it, and then I coupled it with what I love to do by myself, which is to travel. So I took the time to go to Germany, Austria, and London. And I absolutely, in the UK, London. I absolutely loved it. So when I was in Germany, forgot the name. Oh gosh, I forgot the name of the town. Frankfurt, excuse me, Frankfurt. I was in Frankfurt, Germany, and I really wanted to go there because I wanted to see German Christmas, because I've heard and did watch so many YouTube videos and read so many blogs about how the Germans know how to do Christmas, and they really were the ones that created the German Christmas shops and whatnot, or I forgot what they call them, but Christmas markets, Christmas markets, and now they have them all over Europe. So that was something I really wanted to see with my own eyes, which was really exciting and very fun. I also got to go to Vienna and I went to Vienna specifically because I just saw how beautiful their lights are during the holiday, and they also kept their Christmas markets open for longer. So I was able to go there. It's a really safe city. I highly recommend going, especially if you're a female traveler going solo. It's very, very safe. I walked around at night. I mean, I don't necessarily recommend doing that, but I felt completely fine doing that. Just a little cold, but if you can get past the cold, you'll be fine. But yeah, really, really fun. Lots of great things to do. I talk about this in one of my other blogs, and also talk about it in my upcoming video vlogs, or vlogs, if you will. And then I ended the new year. I started the new year is what I should say, because I actually flew down to go to Germany, and then the UK, and then Vienna. What really brought me to Europe is because I really wanted to see beautiful lights for the New Year's. And in London, a lot of the really nice hotels because I actually wanted to just stay by myself in a hotel overlooking the river and looking over all of the lights that are along the Thames River, along the river that goes through London. But those are all booked like the day after New Year's. So those were all booked. So what I did instead was get myself a very nice hotel in Copley Square, which I really like staying in, and I got a ticket to go to a very nice restaurant on the river, and had a fantastic multi-course meal, and afterwards there was dancing that you could be a part of, and then of course everyone was allowed to congregate along the river and watch the fantastic, most beautiful lights along the river, right by where the Eye is, the London Eye, where the fireworks take place. So it was beautiful, it was wonderful. I'll definitely be sure to post a little bit about that, but you can see a little bit on my social media. You can follow me at the Divorcee Diaries on Instagram and Facebook, and see a few more options, a few more visuals about that time. Where I spent my New Year's by myself and really loving it. I absolutely loved it in every sense of the word. You have a lot of people looking out for you too when they see that you're this young woman, especially, that's kind of celebrating New Year's by themselves. I think you get a lot of people that they question why you're doing that, and then some people are like, that's pretty freaking awesome. And that was my mentality too. So it was a lot of fun. And it really helped me kick off the new year the way I wanted to, which was by myself, and really embracing and loving myself, and how far I've come along that path. Because by then I think it was like 9-10 months in my journey of navigating, transitioning from being married to being divorced in a very abrupt way, and learning to love myself again in various ways. So I hope that was helpful for all of you out there who are divorced, or who are broken up from a long, short, a deep relationship, whatever it may be. Hopefully you find a lot of comfort and solace in anything that I've shared. Hopefully it helped all of you, and if you like the channel, please subscribe below. Thank you so much, and I wish you all a very happy holiday.